Hello, I'm Richard, and welcome back to my channel over and over and over again, which features everything to do with Arsenal. In this video, I just really wanted to look at the first press conference made by Thomas Partey, of course, his first Arsenal press conference, which happened earlier on this afternoon. Of course, he arrived in London this morning. Had a lot of stuff with the club in the media, photographs and videos, all that kind of stuff. And also as well, he did face the press for the first time, the English press as well. And he gave an interview. So I just thought I'd do a quick video just running over what was said, what was asked and his responses, which actually it was really good. First of all, he was asked what he's most looking forward to in English football. He said that it's a great challenge and he wants to experience new challenges. And he said one of the things he's looking forward to most is trying to help this club come back to where they belong. And he did say that he's still got a lot still to learn. So very humble guy, and that's what came across actually in this interview all the way through. He was then asked about how important Mikel Arteta was to his decision. His response was, he said he was very important, and also Edu. He said they told me about their plans, and of course I had to accept that. But what obviously that means is that he bought into the vision that they gave him of the club. It just shows what great hands are in, doesn't it, with Mikel and Edu dealing with the transfers now. They've both got a very clear idea of where they want the club to go. And obviously they're only going to get players in who buy into that idea. And of course, Thomas Partey is exactly that player. Next, he was asked about why it took so long to get the deal done, obviously right down to the last few minutes of the transfer window. What he said was that was a decision of the club and that they were working it all out. He said he just concentrated on his training, but he said it feels great to finally be here. Which is great to hear, isn't it? I mean, I don't suppose he would have been involved too much in any of the negotiations on the day, of course, because Arsenal went directly to La Liga, didn't they, to pay the release clause. He was then asked about adapting to the Arsenal style. It was mentioned that, Mikel Arteta has got a very different way of playing to Simone, who he's been used to playing with at Atletico Madrid. What he said was that he goes, I'll have to learn quickly. And he said, I'll have to make Mikel see that I'm ready to play for him. So it's all about adapting, isn't it, to the different style of football, obviously adapting to the country, the weather, no doubt as well. He was then asked to describe himself as a player, what he can bring. Very humble answer, actually. I really like this. He said, I can play wherever I need to play to help the team. But he said, obviously, I'm more comfortable in the middle, which is great to hear, isn't it? You want a player who doesn't necessarily interested in their own personal performances, but how they can help the team to achieve the goal. So that was great to hear that, actually. Really good answer that was. Next, they were talking about, all the headlines because of his surname, Partey, and all the party headlines and stuff like that. And he said he'd started with Thomas on his shirt. So he said he's just going to go with Thomas. He said he doesn't want to, he's not going to change it to Partey just because of all the headlines. And then he was then asked what was the first thing that Arteta said to him when he joined. And Thomas said, he said he saw me play. He knows what I can give to the team and he feels I can do more of the same for him. So basically, it was just, Arteta was just obviously said to him that, just keep on doing what you've been doing because that's why we've brought you in. He was then next asked about what he made of, obviously, Arsenal winning the FA Cup, whether he'd seen that. What his response was, he said he saw everybody at the club was willing to do what it takes to win the trophies. And he said that's my goal also. He said he wants to help the club to win the Premier League. He said, I know it's difficult, but he goes, I think we're ready to go out and achieve it. So he's got high ambitions to help the club win the Premier League. I mean, I'm hoping he might mean this season, but I guess it might take maybe a little bit longer. But it's great to hear that this is what he's come to Arsenal for. Bearing in mind, he's left the club in the Champions League to come to a club that's only in the Europa League. So clearly he's buying into the long-term vision, isn't he? And his aim is to help the club go on and win the Premier League, which is fantastic, isn't it? And I think he's obviously seen that there is a winning mentality at the club now, with us obviously having won the FA Cup. And he's hoping that he can take us up to that next level, which of course we all are, aren't we? It was then asked if he'd spoken to any of the other players. Obviously, some of them are still away on international duty. But he said he had met Aubameyang and Lacazette in the changing rooms, and he said now they'd spoken for a bit. Obviously, he's only really not long had been arrived at the ground, so he probably hasn't had a chance to meet too many players yet. And I say a lot are still away. So hopefully throughout the rest of the week he can meet everybody else and get a feel for the place and hopefully settle in really quickly. He was then asked about obviously potential debut against Manchester City and coming up against another great midfield player in Kevin De Bruyne. Thomas Partey said, he goes, I'm prepared, but I need to get used to the style of play. So Arsenal are going to play, or the role he's going to have to play in the team. He then was asked about whether it had always been an ambition of his to come to play in the Premier League. He went back to his earlier point. He said, it's a new challenge for me because I always want to play in the top leagues. So he says, I'm really happy to be here. He obviously sees Arsenal and sees the Premier League as a great league, which we all do. And obviously Arsenal is a great club, and he's just happy to be a part of it now, which is great to hear as well. He was then asked if his ambition is really to win the Premier League. And he said, yes, he said, that's the new objective of the club and myself. We have to get back where we belong. And again, what a great answer that is. So clearly, when he's spoken to Arteta and Edu, they've laid out the plans, and the plans are that, they want the club to come back to winning the Premier League, which is a great ambition to have, isn't it? And it shows that we're pushing in the right direction. And, I don't think we're far off it. And I'm sure Thomas is going to help us get there a little bit quicker. Also, as well, he was then asked about obviously being away with Ghana this week, whether he's spoken to the Ayew brothers, of course, both of whom have played in the Premier League for different clubs, whether he's spoken to them obviously about English football. And he said yes, and they said it's a very difficult league. But I have the quality to be here. And he said, I just need to work hard. So he knows the challenge ahead of him. I think he understands that the Premier League is going to be a different challenge to the Liga, certainly in a more of a physical sense as well. But he says he's ready for that, and he wants to work hard, which is great. He was then asked about, obviously, playing against Manchester City, Pep Guardiola, and what sort of a challenge that would be. What he said was, he goes, he always loved to play in the big games. But he says it's all dependent on the coach. I need to get used to the squad and to train with them, and then we'll see what happens. So again, he's basically saying that obviously it's down to Arteta to decide whether he's ready to play in this particular game or whether he needs a little bit more time. I think he's got 3 training sessions before Saturday to adjust to the team. So let's hope that's enough. He was then finally asked about the pressure that's now on him and how much he can improve. Again, a very good answer. He said, there's no pressure on me and I like new challenges. And he said, it's all about learning fast and quickly. And he said, once you get used to it, everything works. So, he's not putting any pressure on himself, which is great. He just wants to come here. He wants to learn. He wants to adapt quickly to English football and to Arsenal style. And then he feels as though everything will be fine, which is great to hear. Personally, I was really impressed with that press interview that he gave. I don't know how much preparation he had. I say he only arrived at the club this morning, so probably not a lot. But what great answers he gave. He just came across, as I say, a very humble guy, very ambitious. And it seems as though he's completely bought into the vision that Arteta and Edu have sold to him. And I think most of us have, really, haven't we? So it was great to hear him speak. Great to hear how passionate he is about the club, actually. And I say how ambitious he is to get us to back to the top, winning the Premier League and all that kind of stuff. Now, let's not get carried away. He's not played a game yet, has he? Let's at least wait until we've seen him in the team. Will he play on Saturday now against Manchester City? I think he might well do. I think he's got enough time to train. He's got enough time to get to grips with exactly the role Arteta wants him to play in the team. So I would be surprised if he doesn't play, actually, at the weekend. I think he's ready. He's clearly fit. He's come back from international duty fit, which is a main thing. And I'm sure Arteta's going to want to get him in the team as soon as possible. The best way for him to learn and adapt is to be out there on the pitch playing, isn't it, at the end of the day? And he certainly seems ready and up for the challenge, which of course is great news. So I'm really excited about this. I think it was a great interview that he gave. He spoke really well about the club, about Arteta, about his ambitions and about what he wants to achieve with us as a club. And if he can do that, then we'll all be over the moon, won't we? I personally think this is the best signing that we've made for a very long time in the transfer window. It's a player that we've been crying out for, this sort of player, for a long, long time now. And finally, we've got him. So let's just hope that he can play on Saturday. He settles in quickly. And he makes the improvements that we're all hoping that he can make. But yeah, I was really impressed with him. What a humble guy! Looks like a great addition, doesn't he, to the dressing room as well. I've heard some great stuff about him actually when he was in Spain playing, and he would thank the coaches after every training session. You know, thanks for putting on a good session and things like that. So he seems like a very down to earth guy, and I'm sure he's going to have a great career at Arsenal. I'm sure he's going to help take us on to great things. Hopefully in not that too far distant future either. So that's it. I just wanted to go through that interview there with the first time we've seen Thomas Partey at Arsenal. He's in London now, so we can all relax, and hopefully, I say, he's going to be fit, ready to play on Saturday. If you do like this channel, if you like what I'm doing, if you like the stuff I'm doing on this channel, please click the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up as well, because it does help it. I see I've got one already, so thank you very much for that. I will be I'll be doing a full preview of the Man City game tomorrow. That's coming on the channel tomorrow morning. And then I've got a live Positive Arsenal podcast on Thursday again this week. A lot of good stuff to talk about, including obviously the Man City game. Obviously we'll be talking about Thomas Partey again, I'm sure. Plus, of course, Arsene Wenger's book, which was released today. My copy isn't arriving until Thursday, so I may be busy Thursday during the day reading it, or certainly reading parts of it, so that I've got something to talk about on the show on Thursday. And on Friday, I'll be doing some more stuff as well, leading up to the Man City game. And of course, there'll be coverage of the game as well on Saturday. And then I say on Monday, I've mentioned this a couple of times, but I've got a former Arsenal player joining me for a chat, all things to do with his career, which he had a long career after Arsenal as well. So his career, obviously, what he thinks of football these days, and what he's making of the team. Obviously, we'll talk about the Man City game as well. So that's coming up on Monday at 8 o'clock. So lots of great stuff coming up on his channel. So please make sure you subscribe. Please click the notification bell so you get notified every time I release a new video. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I've got 2 now. Brilliant. Thank you very much again, whoever that was. That's fantastic. And yeah, so really looking forward to Thomas Partey playing. Hopefully on Saturday. I'm sure we're all praying that he's in the team. Be great to see what he can bring. I'm confident that he's going to really improve us. So that's that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Stay tuned. I say some great stuff coming up over the next few days leading up to Saturday. And in the meantime, of course, as always, come on, you Gunners!